Good morning, everyone. State Representative Dan Ugaste of the 65th District. I'm here today with Representative Tom Weber from Lake County, Representative Joe Sosnowski from Rockford, and we're here today to talk to you about property taxes, which are crushing Illinois families. Not only are they crushing Illinois families, they're keeping our economy from growing, and they're keeping our property from gaining the value it should here in the state of Illinois. And the situation, unfortunately, is not getting any better. Illinois residents, according to the most recent Wallet Hub survey, Illinois residents pay the second highest property taxes in the nation, behind only New Jersey. And the only study Wallet Hub has that shows us doing worse is that in economic racial equality, where we're worse in the nation. But on property taxes, we have information which shows the average American family pays slightly less than $3,000 a year in property taxes, about $2,969. However, here in Illinois, we're paying over $6,000, $6,285. And with this tax adding to the cost of home ownership, it's no wonder the state has lost 420,000 residents since 2020. Let's consider the city of Chicago. A recent article in the Chicago Sun-Times reported 22% increase citywide in property taxes over the last 5 years. Furthermore, misplaced Democrat priorities have caused building vacancies in the Loop, which are having a major impact. It is believed that this continued loss of business and vacancies in the Loop is going to shift burden onto the property taxpayers the residents throughout Cook County at an even larger rate. House Republicans have introduced numerous measures to provide property tax relief. This includes my bill, House Bill 9. Democrat leaders here in Illinois have talked about opportunity this year. Unfortunately, we have opportunity deserts here in Illinois, where jobs are almost non-existent, and high property taxes are one of the leading causes of opportunity deserts. Furthermore, high property taxes are regressive. They hurt seniors and those who can afford them the least, the most. An example I'll give you is something I've talked about before. It's commercial building in Lansing. A property owner of a commercial building had a deal to sell the building for $300,000. That's the value, market value. It's what he could get for the building. New property tax bill comes out at $60,000 for the property. It canceled the deal. No one wants to pay for their building a second time to the government over a 5-year period of time. It just won't happen. If we don't change this, we're going to have bigger problems. But we have a solution. The Pension Payment Property Tax Relief Plan, which is my bill, House Bill 9. With the state pension costs remaining high, but still becoming a smaller part of our budget every year, we can manage to do this. What this bill does is it puts a plan in place to take 25% of our budget and set it aside. Out of that 25%, we make our initial pension payment, which is approximately 20%. Everything we're states obligated to under the formula and in law, we make the payment. With whatever's left, which would be a little over 5% at this point, we would then take and give it to a grant fund that would be used to give money directly to the school districts on a per pupil basis. For each dollar then that the school districts receive under this plan, they must lower their property tax levy. This could provide property tax relief over the next 21 years of up to $82.4 billion here in Illinois and would allow further growth. Because some school districts in the hardest hit areas could see their taxes decrease over that period of time by up to 50% if this plan were to be put in place. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to act now to help our citizens who are saddled with these crippling property tax rates. We cannot let another session go by and just ignore this problem as if nothing's occurring. If how excessive if the problem with our high property tax rates are not clear to anyone yet, or people who follow what you read or you write and report, let me leave you with this to share with them. Illinois and its economy is like a large building. Let's say the 5th largest building in the United States, and it's on fire. And that fire's been burning for a while. The Democrat supermajority that runs this state are firefighters, and Republicans are too. However, the Democrats are the ones with the keys to the firehouse, and they won't let us in so we can use the equipment we have inside to put out the fire. And still, the bigger problem, at some point, this is going to be a 5-alarm fire, and we will not be able to put it out before it burns to the ground. This, I'll turn it over to Representative Tom Weber.
Good morning, everybody. I'm State Representative Tom Weber, and I represent the 64th District, which covers communities in northern Lake and McHenry County. Like Representative Ugaste said, the crushing property taxes affecting Illinois families are not getting any better, and unfortunately, these families are struggling to make ends meet because of years of poor decisions by this body. Just a few weeks ago, the governor proposed the largest budget in state history. That's roughly $2 billion more than the previous budget and $15 billion more than in 2020. And once again, his proposal lacked any meaningful reforms and no relief in sight to deal with these high property tax burdens that are forcing our seniors, families, and businesses out of Illinois. Let's remember back in 2019, there was a property tax relief task force. I was on that task force. We had a lot of good ideas, and not one of those ideas was implemented. This was another missed opportunity that would help Illinois families. Unfortunately, the spending increases we are all forced to put up with each year are not affordable and rarely serve the residents who pay for them. The governor's budget proposal tacks on $590 million in new taxes, transfers, and other budget gimmicks. However, we are still facing a $525 million deficit to pay for the governor's misguided sanctuary state policies instead of caring for Illinois citizens. With this in mind, it really isn't a shocker that the governor and Democrats demand more from hardworking families and do nothing to ease the burden on families here in Illinois. I have filed 2 bills in order to alleviate this burden. House Bill 4010 will cap property tax increases so that no individual property tax can increase more than 5% in any given year, which hit some people. Last year, I saw property taxes on some residents go up 20, 30%. Just on my house alone, I think it was almost $2,000 increase in 1 year. And for young families, that is not something that's affordable. I have also filed House Bill 4011, which limits property assessments increases to 3% on your valuation. Florida and some other states do something very similar, and this alleviates some of the wild extremes we see where one house in the neighborhood sells for a high amount of money and then everyone else's values go up. This is not fair. People cannot expect these increases or these valuation fluctuations. Both of these bills are designed to reduce the unbearable property taxes hardworking families here in Illinois face each year. Our legislature has to create a more stable and predictable tax environment that allows our residents to not only plan for the future, but to stay in Illinois. Let's keep families here together. We have to act boldly, and we have to act now. Thank you, and I'll now turn it over to Representative Sosnowski.
Thank you, Tom. State Representative Joe Sosnowski, 69th District, which extends from Rockford into McHenry County, including Huntley. You know, 3 short weeks ago, the governor introduced his budget, a whopping $55.2 billion in spending, which I'll remind everybody is $15 billion more than just 10 years ago. And the problem is nothing within that budget, that proposal, or anything that he's talking about addresses working families and homeowners' need for relief, particularly seniors on fixed income. As was mentioned, there's some great bills that have been filed. There's some bills that have been filed by members of the other side of the aisle, which are very similar to some of ours. Three different bills I want to highlight really quickly that I filed. Number one, House Bill 1746, which would raise the income threshold to qualify for low-income senior citizens freezed from $65,000 to $80,000. This current $65,000 has not kept up with inflation at all, and has not been changed since 2018. This would help make housing more affordable for seniors, help them stay in their homes, and something that we definitely need to work on and get done immediately. Secondly, I filed House Bill 3723, which would put a cap on seniors' total property tax increase, limiting it to 1%, so that we avoid excessive increases. Again, we don't want to drive seniors out of their homes, and we want to encourage them and help them be able to stay in the houses that they've been in for so long and paid for so long. Finally, House Bill 3724 would extend that same type of protection to all homeowners of any age, and that would allow anybody who has a general homestead exemption to cap their total property tax increase, so the actual out-of-pocket amount to 3% from the prior year, and no more, no matter what local municipalities or local governments would charge. And that would begin in 2026. Working families and seniors on fixed income deserve common sense guardrails that this administration is not providing, and instead we're seeing runaway spending. We need to come together, we need to work on true property tax reform and limitations, and we need to do it immediately.